Everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we? Hopefully, everyone's having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. As you can see, I am joined by two laughable children. I can't get rid of
I've had fun today.
Jesus. Guys, this stream's just going to be an absolute chaotic scene of events anyway, but hopefully everyone's having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. Of course, I am joined by Ricky from the 1892 Reds TV. Rick, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, mate, not bad. Been watching a few other people's shows and a bit of entertainment on a nice hot Wednesday night.
Yeah, and Jack, good seeing you as well. Of course, Jack from Anfield Road TV. Have you had an eventful Wednesday?
Yeah, they've had a bit of sunshine, lad, and it sent me giddy. So, it's we'll get to the Barella stuff anyway, but I'm going to kick off. So, nice one to have me on, mate.
So, yeah, we have like a section cut out for Jack just to rant about Barella for about 10 minutes. So that's going to be fun. So if you want to tune into that, make sure you do tune in anyway, of course. But in tonight's episode, of course, guys, we're going to, again, it's not much news around Liverpool at the moment. Of course, we're just waiting for some sort of news, of course. But obviously, we're going to have Jack's segment on Barella in due course. And if I can quickly get the other things up, as StreamYard doesn't want to work at the minute anyway, which is absolutely fantastic. But of course, we are going to speak about Moisés Caicedo, Ryan Gravenberch, and of course, we're going to speak about Alexis McAllister as well. There's been some news coming out about, of course, him returning back to Liverpool pre-season. And of course, we're going to have plenty of other stuff to talk about in tonight's show as well. But we're going to kick things straight off with the news on James Milner. Of course, Brighton have confirmed now that, of course, signing a one-year deal with the club as well. I think Adam Lallana has already been on Instagram, obviously with the news of James Milner. But Jack, James Milner to Brighton, good move.
I'm absolutely made up. Shame it's took this long. Like Liverpool, like Brighton's the new Southampton. Well, it's a new retirement home for Liverpool players. So, who's next? Jordan Henderson's to go to Brighton in about 12 months.
Hendo to Saudi.
Anywhere really for me. It's going to be James Milner moved there to get first team football, and he knew that obviously the role was surplus to requirements at Liverpool Football Club, and I think he wants desperately to break that Premier League record. Obviously, the appearance holder, being given a one-year contract. Brighton, what they need, first time in Europe is it their history or a very long time anyway. And you know what you're going to get with Jordan Henderson. James Milner comes to the club, the experience and that quality as well. If he's playing like 15, 20 games a season, coming on like 5-10 minute spells, he can do a job. He can see a game out really if he has to kick people but.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Rick, I know he was your favourite player of all time at Liverpool. But of course, Adam Lallana and James Milner then, like Jack mentioned, Brighton in Europe, he's going to be probably key in that sense for with the young Brighton squad. But obviously, what's your thoughts on, of course, James? Because I think there was rumours as well of Leeds making a last-ditch attempt to get James Milner as well. But what's your thoughts on Milner signing for Brighton officially?
Took a little bit of a step up in clubs, didn't he? I mean,
God's sake, don't start that stuff.
They're in the same European competition as us next season. He'll probably knock us out in a knockout round with a 90th minute winner for his new club. But listen, Milner's been a great professional for Liverpool. It's about time someone else won that lactate test in pre-season. So that's probably the most interesting thing that's going to happen for Liverpool this summer is to find out who wins that in pre-season. But no, good on him. He wanted to play more football. He didn't want to hang up his boots just yet. But yeah, no, I'm made up for him. I think it's a very good move for him for 1 year anyway. Then we'll probably sign him back for free.
Yeah, it's a clever move by Brighton when you think about it. I know we're joking about it, but like if you think about the profile of Milner as an individual and everything, like for what he's done for Liverpool in terms of off the field as well. Obviously, when we had that we had the Club World Cup, was it? And obviously we had the League Cup within the space of 24 hours. Milner didn't travel, did he? I think he stayed behind with all the lads, the young lads. Even though we got battered by Villa, but yeah, he's an excellent professional. And I'm hoping, I think, statistically speaking, if he plays majority, quite a large section, or even coming on in certain games this season for Brighton, he will obviously become the most capped Premier League footballer. So it's not too bad, is it? Is it 21 years? Is it ridiculous?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable career. I could even get some success in Europe as well. Hopefully not, for Liverpool's sake. But as Ricky said, it might be a step up in class, depending on future business by Liverpool anyway. But again, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway in the comments down below. Anyway, Zayn saying we need to hijack this Barella deal before it's too late. We'll get onto that in due course. Happy birthday, Colin. Yeah, thank you to everyone for the birthday messages as well this morning. Again, another year older. I'm about 50 now at this point. Egypt.
It's all right. Connor didn't wish me a happy birthday. I have a chat. It sounds. It's sorry.
Wow.
There you go. Get in the bin. I'd like to say that's absolutely false. Egypt qualified. To be fair, I have receipts for that.
Do you?
No. But Egypt qualified for AFCON, Salah and Trezeguet, as well as says Mary. Has the sun cheered Ricky up or not? I know the brother news isn't like Jack. Rick? Is it
what it is now. I've just accepted. I've just accepted where Liverpool Football Club are, so I'm all right.
I'm actually not that hot. It's actually all right. So again, I got told off before the stream. Anyway, I should wear short sleeve shirts. So again,
it's all right. We're gonna buy a pair of pants when we go to town because we're not getting barred from a pub. Rob, you know it. Like if we're going to some not posh establishment in town, but you know what bouncers are like. Oh, you can't come in with shorts. But,
in my defense, the last time I didn't know we were going out like that. So again, that's not my fault.
It's all right. I get you some pajama bottoms. We'll wear them.
I already told you I can wear the stretchy chef trousers. So again, that'll be fun anyway. But Warriors and as well as Howdy as well. Hopefully a well mate as well. But we're gonna quickly move on away from chef trousers and all sorts to Kylian Mbappe. Of course, we was gonna bring it to you guys yesterday. Of course, obviously the whole fiasco. Here we go again. 1 year on from last year, of course, with Kylian Mbappe, of course, from Fabrizio saying again, PSG, obviously Kylian Mbappe has informed PSG on his decision. He'll not trigger the contract extension for next summer, of course, and it does look like now that PSG will sell Kylian Mbappe in the summer, of course. With PSG obviously formally putting him up on the transfer market, and reports are saying it's 150 million euros that again most likely PSG will sell to Real Madrid in that sense. But one thing I think that's a big question for certainly Liverpool, of course, not the sense of course Liverpool are going to go after Mbappe in that sense, but I think the big question mark is with will PSG go for Mo Salah in that regards, and Rick, I think the obvious rumours, I think, at the moment is with Bernardo Silva. I think with PSG at the minute that they would go for him on that right-hand side. But if PSG come in with a intriguing offer for Mo Salah, do you think Liverpool could potentially bite on it? Or do you think that Mo's a bit untouchable for Liverpool at the moment?
He's the last cash cow FSG really have on this sell to buy policy. If PSG lose Mbappe this summer to Real Madrid and PSG slap 80 to 90 mil on the table for Salah, FSG will take it all day long. You're living in dream world if you think Liverpool are going to turn down 80 to 90 million for Mo Salah, especially with FSG in charge. I hope not. I do see this as Mo's last season at Liverpool. If he stays, he'll be one season, gets us back in the Champions League, hopefully, and then I could see him moving on next summer, maybe to the Saudi League. They'll offer him a load of money. I don't know how old he'll be at the end of next season, 32, 33, possibly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see Salah going at the end of next season, but I also see Klopp going at the end of next season. So it's going to be interesting if PSG do come for Salah this summer.
Yeah, no, it will be very interesting. And Jack, is like what Rick said in terms of Mo probably being the last big profitable sale for Liverpool. Maybe Alisson could also be in that.
You've only got 3 really at the club, mate, in all honesty. Obviously, potentially I'd throw Ibu Kanate into that as well. I think long-term Ibu's eventually going to go to Real Madrid. You only have to look how pally he is with quite a lot of the Real Madrid contingents in the French national side anyway. So, yeah, you'd look at those 4 main players, and they are obviously the future, the present, and like they're so integral to Liverpool. But every player is, of course, dictated by money, as Ricky's alluded to, the wages, but certain players are dictated by being competitive, and the fact that Ibu Kanate, if you've been living under a rock over the last 48 hours, Chas, Ibu's come out quite scathing, really, in terms of so adamant to the owners to actually go out and telling them basically in a French interview that Liverpool were not up to the right level again this season. Then he doesn't anticipate Liverpool. He's just saying that Liverpool need to replace the quality, because he was basically saying the young players at the current moment in time, they're not good enough. He himself said that. So
yeah. No, he did.
And if that was someone, if someone said that on Twitter, you get laughed at and it was like, oh, have you ever been to Anfield and all that? But it's only true what everyone's been saying over the last 2-3 year period, that Liverpool need to invest. We've had Van Dijk come out with similar comments last season. Salah off the back of his new contract. You got Ibu now over the last 2 days coming out demanding revenue from the owners. So it'd be interesting to see how that is handled.
Yeah, no, I think obviously the Ibu is the latest, obviously, like you said, the latest Liverpool player. I think we've had Mo, Virgil, and Fabinho as well. I think 2 weeks before the season ended, saying that, look, we need quality in the squad. But obviously, first of all, with the quality that's going, but also to add to what's already here as well. I think Fabinho was adding a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, no, it is right, and I absolutely agree with the two of you. I think, like, we'll speak about signings and potential signings in a minute or not, but it's the fact that if we want to go back to being competitive next season, we have to make we have to make quality signings in that regard.
Is that concerning for you two lads in chat? For me, if I'm looking at that, and if I was playing that changing room, you got your senior players and even your young players now, like, they shouldn't really be caring about who Liverpool are signing. They should just be focusing on, obviously, the job in hand going to next summer. That, for me, signals a distrust at the top of the football club. Not in terms of Jurgen Klopp, but in terms of, obviously, the players, first and foremost, looking at the owners, saying, will they facilitate having the right players in?
Yeah, but you got to look at the Van Dijk situation. When he went to the World Cup, they asked him about new ownership, money for transfers in the summer, and he said at the World Cup, I'm looking really excited to the future. Hopefully by the time the World Cup's done, we will have a mindset of what's going to happen to Liverpool Football Club in terms of ownership and money being spent. He's come back, we get absolutely slapped in the league, missed Champions League, and it's all gone quiet on the investment and ownership situation.
I think, I agree with you, Rick. I think the senses of everything has gone dead in that sense, and down the road, of course, with United, them possibly being sold in the next couple of weeks, is it a Qatari consortium? I think, all in all, which again, obviously, we talk about Liverpool, needing investment in terms of the squad. We talk about, again, we've mentioned on other different shows in terms of how many players the Liverpool need this summer. I know we joke, and I think some people have gone off 4, 5, 6, and I think that's the realistic answer in terms of going back to fighting against Man City in that regard. Because again, I think next season will be a rebuild in that sense, in terms of we're not going to go straight to number one. What have you seen?
No, someone sent me another leaked Premier League opening day fixture list.
We've got
There we
Burnley
go.
And
at
that's-
number 12.
Surprise, surprise, with a 12:30 away to Burnley.
For God's sake.
Oh my!
Man United Luton at the 8 o'clock on the Friday night.
It's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Of course, that's 9 o'clock tomorrow, is it, chat? As well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Lee's in as well, because Lee saying Newcastle are in talks with Barella on Sky Sports. We'll get onto that in a brief moment as well. Happy birthday, Connor. Thank you, Bri. They're losing Neymar too. Yeah, when you look at it, PSG, it's a big summer for PSG. Not only, on the Liverpool side of things. Again, Neymar's going, Messi's gone, Mbappe's going. Being honest, though, I just see Mbappe staying in that extra year.
It's just not a league, that, mate. I look at that. Like, Lens should have won it this season. The fact that they didn't win it this year, considering how poor Paris Saint-Germain were this year, it's embarrassing, really. Openda obviously played for them, and he's a quality little striker himself, anyway, for Lens. But
it just goes on to show, though, like when Lille won it, for example, that went down to the last game. And Lille was superb that season, and everyone was like, "Oh, PSG, this, that, and the other." It just feels like PSG don't have to try with the league,
and that's, in fact, we've all said that impacts on the Champions League as well. The lack of competitive nature in that league, it just coincides. He'll play like a Real Madrid the week after in the Champions League and just be not up to scratch really in certain games, mate. But hopefully everyone just pinches all the best talent in France, because it's an absolute mess.
Yeah, absolutely. Warriors is not going to lie. I'm worried about our club. Klopp is going in the next few years. Salah's going soon, and everyone around us are getting state ownerships as well. Yeah, it's a frightening time, especially when Jurgen goes. I think, as Jack's mentioned a couple of times on his show, it's going to be a long road after Jurgen.
It's ridiculous what that man's done, and everyone might go, the owners and that, but especially my generation, I'm 28 now anyway, and Jurgen Klopp, we've waited 32 years for the Premier League. Like, it is that man, yes, of course, and we've all said our criticisms with that fella, but by Lord, like, if he goes, then, especially with these owners, then we'll be looking to be basically what Chelsea are doing, like, obviously mid-table, but then that's when everyone will start going, we had it too good then, so.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. We could probably get 60 back from Nunes. No, just no. Don't want to sell Darwin. Andrew saying great news. Brother, be able to come to Saturday with you. And happy birthday, Connor. Same age as me. Someone has get a Verda Brain and Cater shirt for you, Connor. No, I've already got a Liverpool.
That's definitely not happening, Andrew.
I've already got a Liverpool Cater on the back. Don't need another one, thank you. But it's not good for players to be talking like that and keep that stuff in house as well. But I think it's harsh reality, though.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great. They're exposing the owners.
Yeah,
like you said, we've let 4 go. What are we going to do?
Right. Yeah. I think the one piece I think was brilliant was the fact that with that, and he was like, well, we're just not going to compete. What's the point? To just turn around and go, yeah.
And that, to me, Con, as you spot on, that's what the last back end, half of this season was like. It was basically like, can I say, that sums up what this whole season. What's the point? The players were on the pitch. Every single post-match we all done was like, the players were basically like us. We were getting more angry watching the players. They were like, who's asked, really? We can't be, because no one else around me's doing anything. No one in the boardroom's actually sanctioning deals that would improve this squad. So, I'm getting wound up for the next part soon enough.
That's going to be next in a minute. But no, I think obviously when he spoke as well about obviously Kefran Turam as well, and of course, obviously yesterday everyone was going a bit mental because we spoke about Kefran Turam, and it was like, well, yeah, it's similar towards like what Virgil spoke of Cody Gakpo at the time. But then again, it's the sense of why isn't it done before the under 21 Euro starts? That's for me a big one because again, Nice are hoping for a bidding war for him, and of course we all know Liverpool don't like that word to begin with. So again, just get the deal done.
Don't like the word money, I don't think.
No, that's true. Rob saying, didn't know it was your birthday, Connor. Happy birthday, 56 years young. You look great. Thank you very much, Rob. It's actually 60 this year, to be fair. I have to pick 60.
Bus pass then soon, lad. Nice.
Yeah, I know. Just, you get a +1 to a bus pass as well. So the owners aren't going to buy. I'm going to buy players just because Edu said that stuff. It just creates noise. It does create noise, but I think it's also the sentiment, the fact that players, again, like you look at Edu, for example, he played, was it 12, 13 games in a row in the busiest period last season because we didn't have quality centre-half cover in that sense because everyone was injured and missed the period and then.
Yeah. And then we wonder why our players are getting injured, eh? Because they're getting run through a brick wall, like Fabinho has been for like the last 4 or 5 years since we've had him. So just
absolutely. Of course, we are going to move on anyway. Of course, from PSG and Mo Salah, and of course other things as well. It's going to be Jack's favorite hour. This is, of course, we're going to talk about Barella, Nicolai Barella. Now, an article piece, or he came out from the Telegraph saying exclusive: Newcastle close in on a sensational £50 million deal to sign Inter Milan's Nicolai Barella. Now, if you guys have known, Jack has been the biggest of fans of Nicolai Barella.
On YouTube, for Liverpool community, mostly.
For the last 4 or 5 years. Now, of course, £50 million for Barella, of course, would be an amazing deal if that was to be the case for Newcastle. Of course, it did cause a lot of stir up on Twitter and other social media platforms, of course. But Jack, obviously, I know you'd be enraged if Newcastle did sign Barella for that, but why aren't Liverpool in for him? I think that's the biggest question.
Because we're skint. Yeah, we've been skint for like the last 3 windows, and by the looks of it. And it's not me not knocking McAllister, great, but 1 or 2 midfielders coming in of added quality is not going to fix the back end. Well, last season or the deficiencies in this squad. He ticks the boxes, and you can compare Elliott to Barella as always like. Statistically, charts, just watch Barella, what he does on a football pitch. Massive success to obviously getting Inter all the way to the final this season in the Champions League. Italian international, European winner for Italy. The list is endless, really. If anyone's watched even 90 minutes of Barella, you know exactly what he brings to the forefront anyway. And people might go, oh, he's Italian, I might not settle in the Premier League, but when you look at market value in Europe now, 50 million is an absolute bloody steal. Like, we spoke about this on countless occasions, mate, in terms of when you bring a player like McAllister in, great. McAllister fundamentally was balanced off the likes of Pascal Gross, obviously Caicedo as well. So you need to be able to combine that, whether that's a Curtis Jones, a Fabinho, with Trent in midfielder, whoever it is, but you need more than just that. Last season indicated that. And how many seasons over the last couple of years, yes, we've done well. We've ran Manchester City very close. Well done. But we've only won 1 league title in the last 32 years. Yes, and we've been in the absolute wilderness. And it's not a case of me wanting us to spend 50 million, 70 million every single window. Every Liverpool fan wants adequate quality, and we just want 1 or 2 players to help this squad compete as well at the highest level. Because you look at Manchester City, City are going to go out there and absolutely blitz the transfer market. Gundogan's leaving, Kevin De Bruyne's at the age of 30, Bernardo Silva's going to be leaving as well. So they're going to be replenishing their squad eventually. Mahrez probably might be leaving, so the money's always going to be there. But you look at that, mate, and I don't know how you lads feel and chat. You look at Newcastle United, fair bloody play to them, because they're going from John Joe Shelvey, I know he went to Forest, to Nicolo Barella. Newcastle fans have absolutely won the lottery. But what is interesting enough is the people running Newcastle Football Club from a footballing perspective is absolutely second to none. For me, Newcastle are 2-3 years ahead, or even 5 years ahead of their schedule in terms of getting European football. But we're acting like, oh, Liverpool will be competing again next season. Well, we all thought that this season as well. What happens if we miss out on top 4 again or finish 5th or 6th? What's it got to take for people to actually realise we're a million miles off competing for next season? Like, unless we go out, even Kevin Frorum, if he comes in, great. We need improved bodies, because I can't stand, and I love Jordan Henderson, but he's come to a point the last 2-3 years where he can't do his job to his best ability. Hence why we eventually got rid of Milner. We've let Naby's contract run down, which we should have really sold him and got at least 15-20 million of him when you actually spend 60 odd million on him. Ox, similar. I know Ox and Naby didn't really offer much on the squad, especially considering how injured they are, but we are sleepwalking very much into the exact same season that we did find ourselves in next season, mate. But Barella, 50 million. I honestly hope he does go to Newcastle, because it just goes to show, like, there is value in the market, but I don't understand. Like, yeah, does me head in, mate. But for me, tactically, it's settled perfect. He's used to playing the 3-back system as well at Inter Milan. Predominantly plays down that right-hand side of a midfield 3, or obviously whatever combination Inter do play. They play 3-5-2 or play with wing-backs, don't do with Dumfries and Gosens. So, yeah, he would have been perfect. And the defensive qualities, people might compare him and Elliott, sounds. And, yeah, he's about younger. But we all know Harvey Elliott can't play in a midfield 3. From a defensive point of view, doesn't track back enough. Trent got absolutely murdered last season, and so did Ibu Kanate as well. So, yeah, I'm not pinning me title hopes on a young Harvey Elliott anyway. So, and that's not me having a go at Harvey Elliott. I think he's a tremendous footballer. He's do well for Liverpool, but far too young.
I think the thing for me, Rick, and the thing I want from Liverpool's signings in itself is, I think we've said it on plenty of videos as well, in terms of not just Barella, in aspect of things, but if you can get a carbon copy of a Fabinho, a Jordan Henderson, and a Gini Wijnaldum, like in what was our best midfield when we won the league, if you could get the player profile as that, I think that's the way that is the way for Liverpool's midfield. Like, personally, I would rather sacrifice, I know this might sound stupid, I'd rather sacrifice goals for a workhorse type midfield instead of like, again, the goals will help, of course. Like, you look at McAllister, for example. I think McAllister will be someone of that can, you watch him in the World Cup, workhorse behind Messi, covering space and so on. But I'd rather have a midfield of a workhorse type running up and down the pitch, covering spaces, than what we currently have. And again, I think as what Jack mentioned in terms of, for example, like Jordan Henderson, you've seen prime example, Madrid first half, to compare first half to second half, probably Liverpool's best 45 minutes the entire season. And then you watch the second half, it's easily the worst. And that's what Liverpool have to get away from again. But it's the fact again of investment in terms of finance and just get the right players in the door as well, because again, this summer's huge. Like, Liverpool have to get this summer right. It can't be like last summer.
Yeah. Sorry there, boys. Just quickly mention as well, for Ricky mentions, but you know exactly what's going to happen. Liverpool would then be like, we'll come out with the press releases. I'll tell you that now. Mark the date down. In a couple of weeks, Liverpool have shifted the priorities to allowing more trust in the likes of Bajcetic, Elliott, and Curtis Jones. That's what the story will be in a couple of weeks. Liverpool didn't move in the market due to Klopp having more trust in those younger players. That will get written.
Rick, what have you got to say about that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a car crash. This summer transfer window is going to be an absolute car crash. Obviously, fair play, we've got McAllister in, top signing, 35 million. But then I'm seeing journos report that Liverpool are now looking at the budget to see what they can do. So hold on. We've gone from people saying there's a £250 million war chest to a £200 million war chest to 150 mil to 100 mil to now what? Because Newcastle get Barella, fair play. I mean, be a top signing for them for the price tag.
In Bruno and then Maddison in a 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very, very concerned about next season. I don't think we get nowhere near top 4 if we don't get the right players in. Thuram potentially does look like it's on the way, but me personally, I think that's it. I think that is it after Thuram. 2 players in.
I think the big worry for me is that we've, as linking with what Jack said and what you're saying now, it's the sense of it's all Kefran Thuram at the minute. And again, Manu Kone links got shut down, not shut down entirely, but something like on the links of, again, it's not a hot fire like a Thuram, for example. It's like even with Gravenberch that we're going to talk about in a little bit, like Gravenberch, it's all the waiting game. And what we feared from Liverpool before the season ended was Liverpool aren't going to wait. Liverpool are going to be number one to, getting things done nice and early. And then we're here right now, one signing in. Again, I know the window's only technically open today.
And that's what everyone's been saying on socials. Oh, the window's only been open 24 hours. Regardless, you can't speak to players and do business before that deadline.
Do you know you can buy players when the windows are shut? You just can't register.
We bought McAllister.
Yeah, so it's mad, like, because I'm seeing people like the ownership type thing. I don't want a state-owned club like that, but I just want someone that's going to come in and spend money. Like Todd Bowley at Chelsea, he spends money. Although they don't spend it well, we could spend that money well that they spent.
Thing Chelsea with that, Ricky, they're only missing a Klopp or people, football and people. Once Chelsea get football and people in that infrastructure at that football club, they'll start winning trophies again.
100%. But I'm seeing a lot of Liverpool fans, I'd rather finish 7th. Okay, you'll finish 7th, not spend no money, miss out on Europe, but it's all right because FSG still own the club. A lot of people seem to support FSG more than they support Liverpool, so it's going to be very interesting to see when FSG do eventually leave. Do all these fans go with them?
You just get called negative, though, mate, for having that.
Oh yeah. You can't speak negative about FSG transfers because it's go support City, then go support Newcastle, go support Man United, go support Tom, Dick and Harry in the Championship. You can't support Liverpool if you've got a negative opinion. You have to be. Do you
reckon they'll say that to Ebo? Go and play for Manchester City then, mate.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Has Ebo been to Anfield?
Oh.
You get that one as well. Has he been to Anfield? Has Van Dijk been to Anfield? Because he's criticising people left, right, and centre.
No, that's true. Just a little bit go back to the Barella. The Barella stuff. Sorry. According to reports on, again, it's saying that Barella has told Inter Milan he has no intentions to leave the club this summer. So,
no, I've seen that tweet. Connor, don't fall for it.
What tweet?
Have you seen it on the tweet that he's told Inter Milan?
I just seen a flash up report now saying that.
Yeah, there's a tweet going around saying that Barella's told Inter Milan to cut all communications off from Newcastle, and if you click on the geezer's profile, it's a
charity account.
No, Newcastle troll account that he just tries to go fishing with the Newcastle fans, and yeah, he caught a few bites. It's good. It's funny account, to be fair.
I'll look at it anyway. But we're going to move on anyway, and of course we're going to talk about Ryan Gravenberch. Like again, we've spoken on Gravenberch. Again, Liverpool obviously target, I'd say, at the minute, but again, obviously with Gravenberch saying I want to play more, preferably at Bayern, otherwise at a club where I'll 100% play. That's my plan. I don't want to have another year like this one I've just had. I'll speak to the coach in the next weeks, and then we will see. Now, I think Fabrizio Romano came out and said that the old boards at Bayern, of course, saw him as untouchable, and the new board haven't decided yet on what they want from Gravenberch. And again, it's that sense of when we talk about waiting for players. Again, if Gravenberch is in two minds about leaving Bayern, again, I'd much rather just move on away from it, because of course we know Liverpool have intentions, or like have interest in him, I should say. Sorry, but again, I wouldn't be hanging around, waiting around for Gravenberch's decision. But like, you know, by the end of the transfer window, it's like, oh yeah, Gravenberch decided to stay at Bayern, and then we've missed out on another midfielder in that regard as well. But Jack, what do you make of the Gravenberch situation, and realistically in general, just, you know, Liverpool's interest in Ryan Gravenberch?
They need to, of course, I think reports come out today that they're going to be going for the South Korean centre-half. Obviously, is it Kim from Napoli? Or obviously the Korean centre-half, Kim. He's got a buyout clause. So, and we know how skint Bayern Munich are currently anyway. I know obviously a situation in Bundesliga. They need funds. They need to generate. I think they were looking at Kolo Muani as well. He's going to cost a lot of money from Frankfurt. So if Liverpool went in there with, say, a 20-25 million pound bid, I think they'd happily accept it, because they need money. They need to start generating money. Looking like they will get rid of Sadio Mane as well in this window when he comes back from international duty. So, yeah, for me, he's a player with vast amounts of experience. I know he's not had the best of times, really, in the Bundesliga since his move from Ajax, but if Jürgen can get half the player that was playing, obviously Ryan Gravenberch, in terms of that Ajax team that went all the way to the Champions League semi-final a couple of seasons ago. You look at Matthias de Ligt, gone to Bayern Munich as well, tried to revive his career off the back of the Juventus move as well. So, yeah, just because players don't work out in certain moments in their career. Prime example, Salah come back to the Premier League and he's never looked back anyway. Just because Gravenberch has gone to Bayern, his career hasn't stagnated. There's a player in there. There's a player with immense quality as well. His ball recovery, he's so good technically. And for me, when you look at market value as well, if we're going to be doing the FSG route, is buy cheap players or get players under market value, I think Ryan Gravenberch is one of the central midfielders in Europe that you can very much get, and you will improve your squad.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rick, as Rob said, now, to be fair, you know, Gravenberch wouldn't 100% play at Liverpool. I think he wouldn't, but again, I think he'd have a lot more of an opportunity at Liverpool than he would at Bayern, because again,
he gets ahead of Jordan.
Yeah,
100%.
Who gets ahead of Gravenberch in this Liverpool team?
No, but I mean, like, I think what Rob means there in terms of he won't play like every single minute of
he'd play the most minutes between him, McAllister, and if Thuram comes in,
yeah,
Gravenberch will play more minutes than Henderson, Elliott, Jones,
Bajcetic.
So that's 4 midfielders there. Gravenberch will not be far off from playing in that midfield.
If he's in form, he's one of the most. He's already capped by Holland as well. He's in the amount of minutes he's played for a young lad as well. He's ahead of his career in terms of.
I rate Gravenberch very highly. When he was at Ajax, he was an unbelievable player. People need to get this out of their head that he's not a good player just because he ain't started at Bayern Munich a lot. At Bayern Munich, you get forced to play the German players over there in Bayern Munich. The board want the German players to play like the Kimmiches, Goretzkas, them types of players. But reading that Romano tweet, he'd rather stay at Bayern and play. If not, he potentially would look to move. And that's not the type of player that I'd want at Liverpool. I'd want someone to come to Liverpool and want to play. That tweet there, I don't know if it's worded poorly by the tap-in guy. But I'd want someone that wants to play for Liverpool, not because he ain't getting chances.
But it might be a case that Liverpool haven't expressed their interest, Ricky. Like, if an agent to Liverpool or someone come and Jürgen Klopp rang them up and said, "Do you want to come to Liverpool?" I'm pretty sure they'd jump at the chance.
100%. Yeah. But that's why I'm not taking that tweet too much.
It's like McAllister. It's like, again, I'll quickly actually bring I'll quickly bring up what McAllister said as well. We'll talk a little bit about what McAllister said, but it's like what he's mentioned in terms of, again, like the second paragraph there, where he said, I've talked to Klopp, and that was one of the most important factors in my obviously the decision I'm signing for Liverpool. We talked about football, and he sees it how he wanted me, and expressed his desire to continue winning titles, and that was the most important. And I think, well, again, obviously,
look who's trending.
FSG House, is it?
John Henry,
of course.
Oh, is it John Henry? Oh.
But no, it's that sense of, again, it's the fact that obviously Jurgen's a huge factor in players coming in, and it's like you said as well, though. It's the fact that I think he's spoken about in terms of how Liverpool are the Boca Juniors in England in terms of the atmosphere at Anfield and so on. And I think that's something where, again, players dream of that. Like, again, you obviously you hear players of saying like, "Oh, speaking to this player or this player about Liverpool," and it's just amazing how it is at life at Liverpool, and that's what you want. It's like, look at for example, like Virgil van Dijk. For example, Van Dijk had offers from Man City, Chelsea, and Manchester United, and went, "No, I'm going to come play for Liverpool." And that's what you want from players, and that's what I want from a player, is to go, "No, I don't want to play anywhere else. I want to go and play for Liverpool." And then, of course, maybe in the future play for Madrid or someone like that. But I'd rather somebody be fully focused on the club than going, "Oh, well, if Bayern aren't going to play me, I'll go and play United or Chelsea or somewhere like that." If that makes sense. But yeah,
I think that's just the point he's found himself, though, mate. Like, he's only saying that because he's come off the back of a Bundesliga campaign where he's not really had a sniff. He's had two changes of managers anyway over the course of like the 2-3 year spell since he's moved. So it's one of them, mate. But yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Maxine said, I want players who are passionate and understand of the club, the way the Liverpool fans want the players to play, the Liverpool heart of the club as well. Yeah, absolutely. Connor's right. It can become a saga, messing around all summer long as well. That's what we don't want to happen as well anyway. But
another half a mellow, boys. Go on. Last bit at business.com.
Yeah. We'll speak about last minute business, of course. Moisés Caicedo for Liverpool, which, look, at the end of the day, today, of course, Florian Plettenberg, of course, came out saying he was discussed at Bayern Munich in the last days, as he is still no agreement with Chelsea or Liverpool. Yes, Bayern is monitoring the situation, but Chelsea is still pushing. Obviously, Tuchel has other plans, but is not pushing for him at this stage. Again, obviously, Florian Plettenberg mentioned Caicedo. I think Neil Jones last week, on Redmen, spoke about how Liverpool have looked at Caicedo, but again, with the price that's being spoken about at the minute, it's never going to happen for Liverpool and Moisés Caicedo. But where do we think you could end up? I know Arsenal, have practically agreed a deal for Declan Rice at this stage. Rick, where could you see Caicedo going? I know Florian Plettenberg's mentioned Chelsea there, but where do you think he could end up?
I think it's between Chelsea and Man United for him. I don't know why the guy has put Liverpool in that tweet, because Neil Jones has said that he's not on our radar due to price. A few others have said he's not on our radar due to price. We've got the full Jude Bellingham. So what makes you think we're going to go a full Caicedo?
Yeah, no, that is true. We've got a bargain on McAllister. So again, though, I think as other people have said, though, I think even you and Jack have mentioned in terms of Brighton are going to be asking extra because they missed out on money from McAllister in that sense. But I think at the moment he's most likely to go for 85, 90 million, probably. Could even be more at that stage, realistically. But Jack, where do you agree with Ricky in terms of Chelsea and Manchester United, or do you think that a potential Bayern could even go for him?
I'd love him, mate. He would alleviate exactly what we've all been crying out for the last 12 months. You look at his data. Done a show with you lads last week, didn't we? Had a little look at him. Statistically speaking, you look at the profile of Liverpool, Fabinho and Thiago Alcantara. If you compare them up against those two, very statistically speaking, very similar type of players in terms of what Liverpool want. So if you're looking at potential transfer targets, he ticks all the boxes. He's exactly what the profile Liverpool would be looking at. But it just goes to show, as Ricky's alluded to, we've all spoke about it. For me, he's a player that you will break the bank with. And for me, Fabinho, he looked like he was running in cement last season. Like, yes, and we've all spoke about it, he didn't have the right players round him. But I think even if you do get McAllister and a forward and round him, I still think he struggles. It was that Manchester City game away at the Etihad last season. Like the edge of the penalty area. He's not even doing the. If Fabinho's in tip-top form, he alleviates so much of Liverpool's problems. But you look at Casemiro, he's a very similar age to Fabinho, and obviously Casemiro's a million times better than him. But Fabinho's form should not have deteriorated this quickly over the last 12 months. For a professional footballer, he's still, 29, 30 years old? Yeah, and we wouldn't even be having this debate, but defensively speaking, Liverpool have been sliced open on plenty of occasions. It's all right, us scoring goals, as he says at the top of the show, Connor, for me. Liverpool have never had an issue with scoring goals. It's always just keeping clean sheets. And Fabinho should have been helping out Trent down that right-hand side. But it's like a firefighter trying to put out a massive fire with one bucket of water. He's going to be there for absolutely ages, and it's not going to happen. Yeah. So it's Fabinho's fighting an unbeatable opponent, really. But yeah, I'd love him. He will be on top of my priority list, considering that he's had already 12 months or say more months really at Brighton alongside McAllister. So there wouldn't be any bedding in period for both of them. They'd just move club and obviously a slight tactical switch in certain elements of their game. Then I think they'd be sound. But yeah, I'd love it if we could get him, mate. But as you said, price wise, but yeah,
no,
can't see it happening.
I agree. I think, one point you mentioned there in terms of defensively, I think I read somewhere, I think towards the end of the season, Liverpool were the worst team to be counter-attacked on in terms of goal, I think, ratio, which again, that's something that has to get started. Like, again, the one goal for me last season, that was a massive scream out to what was already going to be a very bad season, was the Palace goal at Anfield.
How's that the ground there, mate? Like, the lack of intelligent defending. You take a card there on the halfway line and alleviate so much.
That was just the beginning and the end for last season anyway. But obviously, quickly read out a few more comments. Obviously, Bryce saying United don't have the money. They have FFP issues. Chelsea, I reckon. So Chelsea, I think you can add to that bracket as well. Right, to be awfully honest with you, of course, with I think the total valuation for Havertz and Mount is, was it 160?
140 million one for both of them. So, a bit mad.
They could get that, then they'll be mad. Guys, what do you think of the Celtic Japanese forward? Is it Kyoko? I think it is.
I think he's one of the top. Well, he was the highest goal scorer. One of the Japanese lads was. Tell you what, they've done tremendous, Celtic, especially that market as well in terms of the Asian market. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see is Brendan, as Brian said there, Brendan going back. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, it's amazing. There is always gems out there, though, chat. It just goes to show, look, as we've just mentioned with Caicedo. And that goes to say what we've all... Yeah, that goes to say, Con and Ricky and chat, we're not asking for 50, 70 odd million. We're just asking for just Liverpool go out and buy the correct quality in terms of statistically or the data people. Bring them in, bring in bodies that we all know that can do the job. Because our strike rate in the market, it's not that bad, in all honesty. It's like 90% works. There's obviously one or two that might not work out, but yeah.
Just everything from last summer, apart from Darwin. Like, that was the... And again, I know people will have their judges out on Darwin for this coming season as well. But yeah, I think still apart from Darwin, everything else was just a mess. Last season, even to be fair, even the price for Darwin maybe you could look at as well in that sense. But of course, I still think Darwin's going to be a success at Liverpool. Just my thoughts on that anyway. But of course, tomorrow, as is already mentioned from you guys as well, The fixtures do get released. I know that Ricky's mentioned earlier in terms of 12:30 from Burnley away. But I just wanted to ask the both of you, who would you want? Of course, we know it's going to be away from Anfield, of course, because Annie Road End is still getting its finishing touches. But
Well, it won't be getting done if they keep on sacking workers in there. Like
that is true, of course. But I was going to ask the two of you, who would you want on the first day of the season to play against? Would you want a top team? Would you want a promoted team like we always end up doing and getting anyway? But Rick, who would you want to face for the first game of the season?
City away, get the battering out of the way early doors, innit?
God's sake.
Take this absolute slapping early doors first day of the season. Get out of the way, man.
God's sake. Jack, who would you want?
I agree with Ricky. It's got to be a big team, mate. Remember that season when we signed Mane, first game away at the and he cut in from that right hand side and banged one in. Like, hopefully McAllister can do something similar at the Emirates. Like, we need, I think mentally, we've all said it. We all said it last year. We need to start quick. We need to start putting teams away. I think if we start playing, no disrespect to the lower teams though, but lesser quality, I think mentally they'll be relaxed again. And that Fulham game was a disgrace. Like,
do you know why I want City away first game of the season? Because we all know you're going to roll out Hendo, Fabinho, and Jones in the first game. So
get Brexit, boys. Get the Brexit,
boys. Jesus Christ! If that is the midfield three for the start of the season, then I'll be very disappointed. I think that's an understatement, to be fair. Anyway, but guys, let us know as well in the chat who you'd want. To be fair, but top team would be class, as well as Mark. Warrior says Everton first game of the season at Goodison Park, quick 3 points. You say that, I don't think we've won there since. To be fair, we won.
2 games we haven't won there.
Yeah. To be fair, we normally draw there though. I think
we've got such a bad draw record at Goodison, man. It's ridiculous.
I think it's like 8 out of the last 11. I think we've drawn or something like that. It's ridiculous. Bryce and Grealish will still be hungover first day.
We say England international duty, isn't he?
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, he's in the picture today. Looks absolutely battered, he does.
I know he plays for City, but he's a top lad. He's just like one of us, one of the lads. Let him enjoy it.
Who was holding him going down the stairs? Have you seen that photo?
No, Carl Walker. Yeah, Carl Walker.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Fair play. I like that, to be fair. But yeah,
you don't see personalities like that in football no more. Like
2 nights running in his Man City kit.
that was just wrong. Like, even afterwards, you see him with the boombox where he's just like going like this, like
straight behind her. Who was it? Who was doing the interview?
The Brian one.
Yeah, and he's off his tree, mate.
The best one was really seeing a 10 out of 10 in the crowd. He was like, have you seen the video? Please say you did it. Yeah, no. If you know, you know.
But Probes lost more points to lower teams last season. Yeah, I think we only won like 2-3 games. I think to below 15.
Early kickoff, stay away.
Yeah, so we didn't win.
Well, we've only got one. We've only got one next season, I think, because the Europa, or up to September time, we'll play 12:30 kickers. After that, we don't play any.
Oh, sounds, thank God.
Jesus Christ, the joys of the Europa League. Wait, what?
And we'll barely play Sunday, and we'll barely play Saturdays as well.
Wonderful. I just jolly hope we don't play United in Salah's AFCON break, please, as well. Batter them anyway.
So now we got no Taki or Ox now, have we, boys? So,
no. Harvey Elliott, right winger. Potentially. Can't wait for him to get 3 or 4 goals at right wing. Okay, of course. But of course, we are going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyway, big thank you to everyone in the chat as well. Obviously, wasn't much of a rant about Barella. I thought, Jack's room would probably be destroyed. I
just run out it's
frustration, isn't it? Realistically,
like, all of us now, like, there's only so much you can say. Like, and I get to, we'll do the transfer deadline show in a couple of weeks when the window shuts and everything. And you know what? The same tripe that'll come out. He's so ungrateful. Even if we do get 1 or 2 players, that's the bare minimum as a football club. Like, we've got money there, but it's disappointing, mate. But I'm not surprised. Like we must be just content with finishing below, finishing second as well. Shankly, as we said, so no one remembers. Second means nothing. Like, you know the quotes anyway. So up to Reds, and as long as we'll finish champions, we need to finish in the top 4. We need to actually go compete for the league as well, but it's going to get even more difficult. So enjoy.
Don't worry, boys. We're going to the court next season. No, but Rick, big thank you for coming on. Have you got anything lined up on the 1882 Reds?
I'm on the verge of retiring. So, depending how this transfer window goes, you might not see me again next season on a show.
Luke's going to be watching this now going, what on earth are you going on about?
Because I'm not willing to waste my time doing streams when we're getting slapped in the league, 7th and 8th, because we don't put our hand in the pocket and buy players and improve this squad. I can't. It won't do my health any good doing streams. I'll be cancelled after the first slapping. I can't.
Just go back to 2010. Liverpool.
So I'll just be the social media manager of the 1892 Reds TV. You won't see my face at all.
Jesus. But thanks for coming on as well, Jack. Have you got anything else coming up on Anfield Road TV coming up?
Event and news usually cover, like, I'm doing a lot more short form content, so we're on TikTok, obviously Facebook as well, mate. Well, thank you very much for having me on, mate. Great to speak to you lads and everyone in chat. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening. Look after yourselves. But let's celebrate getting a new stand as well. So up to that.
You can tell it's been a fun stream anyway. But boss stream big up as well, says Warrior. Thanks everyone, says Mark, and Mark says Ricky.
Yes, mate. I've been racking up them subscribers this week, mate. Without Luke, the numbers are going up.
If you're not yet subscribed, Mark, if you could please put Ricky and
Mark, you subscribe, lad.
Of course, Mark is.
Of course, Mark obviously, top. I was almost going to say top mod then.
What are you going to call Mark a top red then?
I was. The red did come in my mind for 2 seconds.
I'm gonna make Mark a mod on our chat.
So, Mark, mod on somebody else's channel. But big thank you to all of you guys. Of course, if there is anything breaking or anything does come out, we will be live. Obviously, tomorrow. We'll probably be doing shorter content tomorrow because, of course, it is the Premier League fixtures. We'll, of course, bring it to you in the morning, of course. But obviously, no video. I think tomorrow, guys. I think potentially. I don't know yet. I might be. Tomorrow, if there is anything that does come out.
Of course, you love it. Do another Mbappe video, lad. It sounds.
We're just going to do Mbappe to Liverpool. Hashtag 2024 is always going to happen for Liverpool anyway. But I'll do it to annoy Ricky even a bit more. Should do Kefran 2 round for another video.
Do a video Jude 2028.
No. Jude broke my heart. No.
We get Jude for free in 2028.
Today, though, we saved up for supposedly 2 years to get him, and then didn't get him. So
no, Jesus Christ, I didn't start there anyway. But guys, hopefully have a fantastic rest of your evening. Anyway, of course, if you're not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button as well. Of course, hit that like button. Until next time, guys, we'll see you all then. I've been Connor from the Cup Council. See you all then. Ta-ra.